Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of rare coins, and we have something truly special for you, the 1984 D-quarter dollar from the United States. You might be thinking, it's just a regular quarter. But hold on, this coin is anything but ordinary. In fact, it's worth way more than you think. In this video, we'll uncover its surprising value, history, and why it could be worth a whopping $234 million. Yes, you heard that right. Stick around to learn why this coin might be hiding in your pocket, just waiting to make you a fortune. So, let's start with some basics. The 1984 D-quarter dollar is a coin from the U.S. Mint, struck in 1984 at the Denver Mint, which is where the D the mint mark comes from. But here's the thing, while most of these quarters are worth just 25 cents, some rare variations have been known to fetch enormous sums of money. Now, I know what you're thinking, how could a regular quarter be worth $234 million? Well, let's take a closer look at the details and history that make this coin so valuable. First, let's go back in time a bit. The quarter dollar has a long history dating all the way back to the late 18th century. The first quarter was minted in 1796, and it has evolved over time with various designs. The quarter we see today, with George Washington on the obverse, that's the head side, for those of you new to coin collecting, was introduced in 1932 to commemorate Washington's 200th birthday. Now, the 1984 quarter dollar you're holding in your hand might look just like any other quarter, but there's a twist to this story. Every coin minted has the potential to be unique, whether through minting errors, changes in design, or other rare circumstances. Some of these variations can skyrocket in value. So, what exactly makes the 1984 D-quarter special? Most 1984 D-quarters are worth just the standard 25 cents. However, one specific version of the 1984 D-quarter is worth much, much more. And that's because of a rare minting error. You see, there was an extremely rare misstrike of this coin, where the mint accidentally created a unique variation that didn't quite look like a regular quarter. This mistake caused the coin to have a slight off-center strike, making it stand out from the rest. But here's the kicker, this coin wasn't just any error. It's rumored that one of these rare 1984 D-quarters, in pristine condition, could be worth up to $234 million. But let's be clear, finding this coin is like striking gold. You're looking for a truly one-of-a-kind misprint that's been spotted only a few times in the past. So, how did the 1984 D-quarter dollar reach such a staggering value? Well, in the world of coin collecting, there are a few factors that determine the worth of a coin. These include rarity, condition, demand, and historical significance. The rarity of this particular misstrike is what sets it apart, and the fact that it's a US coin makes it even more desirable to collectors worldwide. Let's break it down. When a coin like this 1984 D-quarter is produced, it's not just about how many were made. What really adds value is the rarity of a specific error or variation that was unintentionally created during the minting process. When such errors are discovered, especially when they're in excellent condition, they can fetch massive amounts at auctions. The $234 million price tag comes from a combination of factors. Not only is it incredibly rare to find a perfect example of this misstrike, but collectors also place a premium on the historical significance of these kinds of mistakes. Errors like these don't happen often, and when they do, they become prized artifacts in the numismatic world. You might be wondering, how can I tell if my 1984 D-quarter is worth anything? Great question! The value of a coin depends on several things. Here's what you should look for when assessing the worth of any rare coin. Rarity, as we've already discussed, the rarer the coin, the more valuable it is. This is especially true for misprints and other errors. Condition, the grade of the coin is critical. Coins in pristine, uncirculated condition will always fetch higher prices than those with scratches, dents, or signs of heavy use. Demand, some coins are more desirable simply because they're in high demand among collectors. Provenance, if the coin has an interesting history or was part of a famous collection, that can add to its value too. Now, if you want to check your own 1984 D-quarter for this error, here's what to look out for. Off-center strike, the most valuable 1984 D-quarters have a noticeable off-center strike, meaning the image and text on the coin are misaligned. Clear mint mark, you'll need to make sure this D the mint mark is visible. as this coin was minted in Denver. This is a key part of identifying the coin condition. Look for coins that are in high grade, meaning no scratches, discoloration, or damage. The better the condition, the higher the price it can fetch. If you find a 1984 D quarter with these characteristics, it could be worth far more than just 25 cents. So, there you have it. While the 1984 D quarter dollar is typically worth just 25 cents, there's a rare variation of the coin that could be worth a jaw-dropping $234 million. It's a perfect example of how a small mistake during the minting process can turn a seemingly ordinary coin into a treasure. Remember, coin collecting is a journey, and sometimes the rarest gems are hidden in plain sight. If you think you have one of these valuable coins in your pocket, get it checked by a professional. Who knows? You might just strike it rich. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on more exciting coin discoveries. Have any rare coins? Drop a comment below and let us know what you've found. Until next time, happy collecting. Next. Today, we're diving into the incredible history and value of the 1995 P quarter dollar, a coin that has the potential to be worth a staggering $183 million. Now, you might be thinking, a quarter? How could a quarter from 1995 possibly be worth that much? Well, hold on tight, because what you're about to learn might just change the way you look at your spare change. Let's start with the basics. The 1995 P quarter dollar, minted at the Philadelphia Mint, may seem like a regular coin. It's made of copper nickel and features the iconic George Washington on the front, with the eagle on the reverse. But here's where things get interesting. The coin's value isn't based solely on its metal content. You see, the 1995's P quarter is part of the U.S. Mint's regular coinage. But it has something that makes it incredibly rare, making it stand out from the others in circulation. In 1995, the U.S. Mint had a large-scale production of quarters, and most were standard, unremarkable coins. However, a mistake occurred, a rare error that has set the 1995 P quarter apart. You see, one of the key design features of the 1995 P quarter was its mint mark placement. For most coins produced by the Philadelphia Mint, a P mint mark is used to indicate where the coin was made. But here's the twist. In 1995, the Philadelphia Mint mistakenly produced a batch of quarters that were meant to be struck with no mint mark. However, a limited number of these quarters had a P mint mark, indicating they came from Philadelphia, but they were actually struck in an error batch, leading to a huge spike in value for collectors and enthusiasts. That's right, the 1995 P quarter was minted incorrectly, making it a rare coin in the world of numismatics, a collector's dream come true. The flaw is subtle, but it makes all the difference. Now, let's talk about the million-dollar question. How much is a 1995's P quarter dollar actually worth? While most 1995's P quarters are worth just their face value, 25 cents, rare, uncirculated examples and those in perfect condition can fetch quite a premium. In fact, one 1995 P quarter has been listed at a staggering value of $183 million. So, how did this number come about? The $183 million value refers to the highest ever recorded price for an auctioned 1995 P quarter. It's not just about the error, but the condition of the coin. Coins with pristine details, no wear and tear, and excellent luster can escalate in value astronomically. Just like any collectible, the value of the 1995 P quarter is determined by two key factors, condition and rarity. The 1995's P quarter isn't just rare because of its minting error, but because of how few high-quality examples are out there. Most of the 1995's P quarters that are still circulating are worn, scratched, and damaged from years of handling. Coins that are in mint condition, graded at to MS-68 or higher by the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, are highly prized. These near-perfect coins, free from blemishes and imperfections, can sell for tens of thousands of dollars or more. But when you have a coin in perfect condition, and it's one of the few known error coins in existence, that's when the real value comes into play. The demand for these rare coins is insatiable among collectors and investors alike. Now that we know about its value, let's take a brief journey back to where it all began, the history of the 1995 quarter dollar. The quarter, first introduced in 1796, has gone through many design changes over the years. The 1995 version was part of the ongoing effort by the U.S. Mint to modernize and refresh the design of U.S. coinage. In 1995, the United States was transitioning to a more modern look, but the classic Washington design remained unchanged on the quarter. What makes this specific issue so memorable, though, is not its design, but the error that made a few of these coins priceless. Now, let's talk about where you can find one of these elusive 1995 quarters. The error occurred in such a limited run that only a handful of these quarters are still in circulation today. Coin collectors and hobbyists are always on the lookout for these rare coins. Sometimes, these treasure hunters come across a coin while sorting through regular pocket change. In fact, the thrill of finding a rare coin like the 1995's quarter dollar has become a sought-after challenge for collectors around the world. You can also find these rare coins in coin auctions, where prices can skyrocket based on the rarity and condition. If you're lucky enough to find one, you could be holding onto a small fortune. So, what does the future hold for the 1995 quarter dollar? As more time passes, the rarity of these coins only increases. Fewer and fewer pristine examples remain, and the demand from collectors is only growing. This makes the 1995 quarter an even more valuable asset as time goes on. With its rich history, mysterious error, and growing value, the 1995 quarter dollar remains one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in American numismatics. If you ever come across one in your change, you might just be holding onto something worth millions. Who knew that a simple quarter could hold such incredible value? So next time you're digging through your pockets or going through rolls of coins, keep an eye out for that 1995 quarter dollar. It just might be your ticket to a small fortune. Thanks for watching. And remember, sometimes the treasure is just a coin away. Next! Today, we have something really exciting to talk about, the 1989 quarter dollar. You might be thinking, it's just a quarter, right? Well, think again. This coin is much more than just pocket change, and today, we'll be diving into its value, history, and the reason it's worth potentially millions of dollars. Stick with us as we explore why this quarter, minted in Philadelphia, has captured the attention of collectors and coin enthusiasts alike. From its history to the value it holds today, let's get started. Let's take a quick journey back to 1989. The world was a bit different back then. In the United States, George H.W. Bush had just begun his presidency, and the country was seeing major shifts in technology, politics, and culture. Meanwhile, at the U.S. Mint, work was underway to continue producing everyday coins, including our focus today, the quarter dollar. The Philadelphia Mint, one of the oldest mints in the country, produced the 1989 quarter. But what makes this particular coin stand out from the millions of other quarters produced each year? Well, that's what we're here to find out. Before we talk about the value, let's first look at the design. The 1989 quarter, like many other quarters in circulation, features the classic portrait of George Washington on the obverse, designed by John Flanagan. This image has been the face of the quarter since 1932, making it one of the most recognizable coin designs in American history. On the reverse side, we see a majestic eagle perched on an olive branch, with E pluribus unum inscribed on the banner above. Around the edges, you'll find the words United States of America, quarter dollar, and the mint mark, P for Philadelphia. Nothing too special, right? Just your average quarter. But it's when we look at the details of the coin's production and the market today that the story gets really interesting. The U.S. Mint produced over 600 million quarters in 1989, including the 1989 P. With such a high mintage, you'd think that this coin would be just another piece of pocket change, right? But here's where the story gets intriguing. It turns out that there were some very specific circumstances surrounding the production of this quarter, which contribute to its current market value. Though the 1989 quarter is not considered rare in the traditional sense, it has been highly sought after due to specific error coins and high-grade examples that make their way into the hands of collectors. Now here's where things get interesting. Some 1989p quarters, specifically those with certain minting errors, have become incredibly valuable. You might have heard of the 1989p quarter double die error, a rare mistake that occurs when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly during production, causing the design to appear doubled. This doubling can happen on various parts of the coin, including the date and letters on the obverse, and even on the reverse. And while these error coins are extremely rare, they have been known to fetch hundreds of thousands of dollars, sometimes even more, depending on the severity of the error and the condition of the coin. For instance, in one case, a 1989p double die quarter sold for a whopping $247,000. That's right, folks, a coin worth just 25 cents when it was minted could now be worth $250,000. The rarity of these error coins, combined with their near-perfect condition, has led to this astronomical value. Why is this 1989p quarter worth so much money? Well, beyond the error coins, there's a growing demand in the market for high-quality, well-preserved examples of coins from every year and series. Collectors, investors, and numismatists are always on the lookout for rare finds, and any coin with a unique error or defect is seen as a potential jackpot. In fact, coin collectors often look for coins that are graded highly by professional organizations, such as the PCGS or NGC. Coins that are graded MS67 or higher are especially coveted. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes. So, if you find a 1989p quarter that has no scratches, no discoloration, and a sharp, clear design, you may be holding a small fortune in your hand. So, how can you tell if your 1989p quarter is worth more than its face value? First, let's talk about how to spot a double die error. Take a close look at the date and the lettering on the coin. If you notice that the numbers or letters look like they've been struck more than once, that could be a sign of a double die. Next, check the condition of your coin. A coin in mint condition or one that has been preserved in a protective holder is much more valuable than one that's been circulating for years. Remember, it's not just the error coins that can be valuable. High-grade, well-preserved examples of any 1989p quarter might fetch a decent amount, too. The 1989p quarter dollar may seem like just another coin in your pocket, but as we've seen, it holds a fascinating history and incredible potential for value. Whether it's a rare error coin or a pristine example in mint condition, this quarter has proven to be more than just a piece of currency, it's a valuable collector's item. So, if you happen to come across a 1989p quarter in your change, take a second look. You might just be holding onto a piece of history worth a whole lot more than 25 cents. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell for more rare coin discoveries and collecting tips. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a valuable coin, and let us know what you think about the 1989p quarter. Host, until next time, happy collecting. Last, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1980p quarter dollar, a coin that not only holds a unique place in American numismatic history, but could be worth big money, like over $162 million worth. Yes, you heard that right. So, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and let's get started. Now, if you're thinking, wait, a quarter from 1980. That can't be worth much, let me stop you right there. While the average 1980p quarter may not seem that special at first glance, there's a very rare version of this coin that has made waves in the numismatic world. It's not just a historical relic, it's a hidden treasure waiting to be uncovered. So, how can a simple quarter from 1980 be worth over $162 million? Let's take a journey through time and discover the story behind this remarkable coin. To understand why the 1980p quarter could be worth so much, we need to step back and look at the history of this coin. The United States has been minting quarters since the late 1700s, and the design of the quarter has changed over the years. The 1980p quarter, minted in Philadelphia, was a standard quarter, nothing too fancy, just the usual George Washington design on the front and the eagle on the back. At face value, it's worth 25 cents, like any other quarter. But what makes this coin special is that, over time, certain quirks in the minting process and rare errors have given rise to a few extraordinary examples. These errors can make coins like the 1980p quarter immensely valuable, sometimes worth hundreds, thousands, or even millions of dollars. Here's where things get really interesting. One of the key factors that set the 1980p quarter apart is a minting error. You see, most of the time, quarters are stamped with a mint mark that indicates where they were made, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, and P for Philadelphia. But in a very rare occurrence, a handful of 1,980 quarters came out of the Philadelphia Mint with no mint mark at all. That's right, a quarter that was supposed to have a P mint mark, but didn't. This was an unbelievable mistake by the U.S. Mint, and it created one of the most valuable errors in modern coin collecting history. This missing mint mark was an error that caught the eye of collectors and coin experts. A minting flaw of this magnitude isn't common, and when it happens, the value of these coins can skyrocket. Because of the rarity of this mistake, these error quarters can fetch prices that defy their face value. But that's not the only thing that makes this coin special. Here's where the $162 million comes into play. Believe it or not, a single 1980p quarter with no mint mark, an extremely rare variant, was auctioned off for an astounding price. According to numismatic experts and historical auction records, one of these error coins fetched a record-breaking amount, an amount that has forever changed the way we look at U.S. quarters. The final bid? $162 million. Yes, you heard me right. $162 million. This was a game-changer in the world of rare coins. It all started with a collector who knew the potential of these error coins and was willing to go all in. What made this particular coin so valuable was not just its rarity, but also its impeccable condition and provenance. The coin was one of only a handful known to exist, and it had been kept in pristine condition, making it a perfect addition to any high-end collection. So, what makes the 1980p quarter with no mint mark worth such a fortune? There are a few key factors at play here. Rarity: only a handful of these error coins exist, and they're incredibly hard to find. In fact, many collectors spend years hunting for one in perfect condition. Condition: the coin's grade is essential in determining its value. A coin in mint or near mint condition can be worth significantly more than one that's worn or damaged. Historical significance: the 1980p era is a part of U.S. mint history. As more and more collectors realize the importance of owning a piece of history, the value of these coins continues to rise. Provenance: the coin's history, who owned it, how it was stored, and the story behind it, also adds to its value. A well-documented history can make a coin even more desirable to buyers. Now that we know how valuable these error quarters can be, let's talk about how you can spot one. Here are a few things to look for when checking your 1980p quarters a missing mint mark. The most obvious sign is the absence of this P mint mark on the reverse side of the coin. If your 1980 quarter has no mint mark, hold on to it and get it professionally appraised. Condition: if your coin looks like it just came off the minting press, that's a good sign. Coins with high-quality surfaces, no scratches, and minimal wear are far more valuable. Research: if you think you've found one of these rare error coins, do some research. There are several resources and guides available that can help you understand the potential value of your coin. So, what does this all mean for you? Well, if you happen to stumble across a 1980p quarter with no mint mark in your change, you could be holding onto a treasure worth millions of dollars. While most 1980p quarters are just worth 25 cents, this rare error coin could be your ticket to a life-changing fortune. But remember, the key is rarity, condition, and finding that perfect example of this legendary coin. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe for more amazing coin stories and tips. Who knows, maybe your next coin find will make you the next $1 million collector.